I don't even know what to say anymore. What's the point in even defending the PS5 Pro? What, you're going to get better FPS and maybe 4K? Didn't they say that you were going to get 4K 60 FPS with the base PS5? Because there's no way they're going to hit a 4K resolution when their games even struggle to hit it on the base PS5 when their console was marketed to hit stuff like that. I'm genuinely confused, but anyway, I'm back after being hacked. It was pretty cool actually. I had to reset all my stuff with my passwords. Very fun, very good experience indeed. Did I learn my lesson? No, I'm an Australian. We don't learn lessons. We do and keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again. So anyway, can you guess what the price is of the PS5 Pro? It's $700 in the US, but can you guess what it is in Australia? You leave your comments. More than likely you won't, but anyway, I'll just tell you. It is $1,050 Australian. You could build a PC with that money. It is honestly insane that someone in Australia will try to buy that and think to themselves, yeah, that's a good price. But that's also not including the optional disk drive, which I think that's still a really cool thing by Sony. It's just way too expensive, like it's over $50 I think. And in Australia that's even more, so if it's around, I don't know, I think someone said it was $80 on normal. I could be entirely wrong, but that's more than $100. And if we also include the other accessory, the $30 vertical stand, you know what, let's add up all the prices. I've got all the prices here, I'll just quickly tell you how much that is in Australian. The total price, if you include all accessories, is $1,217. I put the equation on screen so you can correct me, but that was the conversion for all the things to Australian. That is a lot of money. You really just could build a PC with that money and get a far better experience. I genuinely think this is almost a scam. It isn't really a scam because they're providing you with a product, but at this point, you're just stealing people's money at this point for a product that isn't worth that amount. So anyway, let's go take a look at the fanboy of the video, Reforge Gaming, as he had some interesting things to say that I just genuinely disagree with.
Listen, we talked about this before, and the PC guys scoff at this, right? They'll scoff at it, they'll put quotes like this in their videos, and they'll rage and yell and scream. Listen to me. If you are the vast majority of the PC gaming user base does not have a rig that can do anything close to 4K or ray tracing.
Do you really think your PS5 Pro will be able to do 4K 60 FPS with ray tracing without sacrificing something to actually get to that point? I don't believe it will be able to do any of that and keep a stable 4K 60. I don't believe that. I do not even see a possibility where that's really possible. But I will need to actually see testing of this console myself from people that have actually tested the console. So who knows? Maybe it can do it and I could be completely wrong. But I can assure you, more PCs that spend around $1,200 could more than likely attempt that on some modern games. Not all of them, but I'm sure that most of them can.
They don't even have, a lot of the gaming rigs out there are strong enough to run like Among Us or games at like 1080, 30, 1080, 60.
I would have to strongly disagree with you there purely because I believe, and from what I've observed, a lot of people usually go 2K 60 or 120 FPS if they don't want to do 4K. Because honestly, it's not that noticeable unless you're playing a really good graphics game, but for the most part, most people mostly favor FPS depending on most of their games.
Okay, if that individual is considering upgrading their rig and they see this commercial, they see trailers, and they see performance modes, 4K ray tracing in games like Gran Turismo and Spider-Man and other mainline games, even a game like Hogwarts Legacy, and that is only going to cost them $700, you've really got to consider that that's a winsome offer to them.
No, it's not. There's going to be more cost after that, like for online services. You've already paid for the internet, now you need to pay for the privilege to use that internet on your platform. Where on PC, as you don't. You also need to pay for accessories. If you want a disk drive, you gotta pay for that. If you want a vertical stand, you gotta pay for that. It doesn't come with it. You know, really stupid that it doesn't. And then you look at PC, right? You could just get a PC that would probably outperform that with just a little bit more money into it, or even the equal amount of money.
PlayStation has already shown a significant amount of PlayStation 5 owners, what is it, like 25% of them, didn't even own a PS4. They're getting new consumers from somewhere, and the Pro, to act like all PC gamers are going to turn their nose up to this, I think is naive.
They were more than likely held at gunpoint to waste their money. 700 doubloons on a plastic box paperweight. Because why would you get a PlayStation console when all their games are going to come to PC anyway? Who really cares? Like, why waste your money? Just save it up, or spend it on a game on PC, and just do something with it. You could buy a new component, or you could just save it up and use it for later. Like, there is literally no need for you to have this PS5 Pro. What are you going to gain from it? It's not a PC where it's just a multi-use station. You can already do gaming on your PC and you're going to get all those games. I don't get the logic here. Why waste the money?
If you are in the market for upgrading your rig and you see this thing at $700 and you see the performance it's outputting, you're going to consider it.
I'm sorry to say, Chief, but I don't think it's going to give you 4K 60. I really don't.
You're 100% going to consider it. Not everybody is a bleeding edge PC enthusiast with the 4090 and RGB, like the, and like lights behind their monitor.
Maybe people can just notice a bad product, let alone a bad purchase. Why would you want to own something that you don't really need? Like, I don't know why you keep trying to say, oh, they're gonna purchase it because 4K 60 FPS. Your PS5 and Xbox Series X promised that they would do that normally and give you a standard of 60 FPS, but yet they have to sacrifice so much just to get that 60 FPS to happen. And I wonder what will happen if they try to continually hit 4K. Will it be a stable 60 FPS? You're not seeing a lot of the issues that people have with this, on top of its really shitty pricing.
A lot of people on PC don't have rigs that are even close to strong enough to run things at 4K and ray tracing.
Does anyone really use ray tracing? Like, it's not that noticeable, like the shadowing and all that can be a lot better. A lot of the lighting and some of the things can be a lot better because of ray tracing, but who really uses it? I don't. I never really bother to use it unless I want to, make screenshots. But then again, there's really no point to use ray tracing. I don't know why you would want ray tracing. It just makes your performance terrible. And since you don't also have a choice to change it in your PlayStation settings, unlike on a PC. Bro, imagine if they made that for console, where you could change all the settings to play the game how you wanted it. That'd be pretty cool. They should do that.
Yeah, if you're a hardcore PC guy that never wants a console, you're hearing what I'm saying and you think I sound stupid, you have to consider there's a ton of people in the PC audience that aren't like you. They're not like you.
So, I'm just going to explain this to a lot of you console guys, and also Reforge, on why PC players refuse to buy consoles, and refuse to go back to them. It's because once you realize how good PC gaming is, and the amount of benefits it actually offers you, you never want to go back to a console, because it feels like a waste of money. This doesn't necessarily apply to everyone, of course, but for the most part, that's kind of the mentality that a lot of people will end up adopting after they do this for quite some time.
$700 I can get a better PC? No, you can't. If you want to go bleeding edge on a PC, if you want to build a rig that can do like 4K ray tracing performance, you're not doing that for $700.
Reforge, I think you're missing the point. He can literally build a better rig that will give you more performance with $700. Also in Japan, I just recently found out the PS5 Pro is like $850. Talk about scamming your home audience. Like Reforge, you're missing the point here. Your immediate goal is to go, oh, it's not gonna do 4K 60 FPS. They're on about price to performance. It's going to give you better performance on PC because you're able to find the parts, whether or not they're used, or you're able to find good discounts on those prices. There are many ways you can look at this and how it could be better. But for some reason, your narrow-minded PlayStation fanboy view can't realize that.
You want to clip this and run this on Twitter and make fun of me and try to eBay bargain bin shop your way to a PC that can do that? Get real.
As a wise man once said, get clipped, idiot.
You are not building a PC for $700 or upgrading an existing PC for $700 and getting that. You'd have to have a pretty decent rig right now to get away with that. I could probably do that with my 2080 rigs. I could probably spend about $700 and get the upgrades needed. Even still, the graphics card alone is going to be a huge chunk of that. That's if my motherboard's even compatible with the newer, bigger cards. I don't even know if it is. My power supply might not even be compatible. Those cards are enormous.
I'm surprised you know how to put a PC together. Watching you try to connect a PlayStation controller to use it on PC was honestly shocking. It was such a miserable experience, and you honestly wasted so much time trying to do that. You should have just used an Xbox controller. It would have been so much easier.
Like, it's always a ripple effect when you go to upgrade your rig. You can't just like, oh, go buy one thing and fix all your problems. You usually have to buy a number of parts. You buy one of those really nice big graphics cards, you might have to get a new motherboard. Then you probably need a new power supply because your power supply might not be strong enough to run the new card and everything else in your rig.
This is why you build for the future. You always look at the parts that you're buying, and then you look at how long and what they're compatible for. You look at your CPUs, are they compatible with AM5? AM5 will be supported for a couple more years, meaning you don't need to buy another motherboard, and I believe all GPUs are compatible as they all use the same socket. I could be wrong, but I've seen people using older graphics cards and they're still fine to use, so I don't think there's much compatibility issues.
Like, it's always a ripple effect.
It's because you're stupid, Reforge. Be like me, get an 1000-watt power supply. You may not need it, but it's gonna last you about 10-12 years, and you may be able to use it and keep using it as long as you may need to. It's all about thinking, will you need this in the future? Will you need to upgrade it? Can you save money? And for some reason you can't realize that.
A $5 super chat from PC Master Race. $700 for the digital PS5 Pro with a mere upscaled 4K 60 with some ray tracing. The PC Master Race send its condolences. Yeah, well, nobody gives a frick what the PC Master Race thinks because nobody's marketing to you.
Then why do you keep bringing us up and bitching about us talking about how this console is a waste of money then? Clearly we've done something to get your attention.
Nobody's making games for you, and nobody's marketing to you. The consoles aren't marketing to you, and the game developers aren't marketing to you. You're like a 1% of a 1% in the market. You're nothing. You're not even a quantifiable group of people. You're just obnoxious on the internet.
Oh, if that's true, why does Sony keep giving us your games? The games that you need to buy your little plastic box for, Why? Clearly, the PC market must have some control over what Sony's doing if they realize how much money they can make. Why do you think Microsoft started doing it?
XCal with 28 months and a VIP, welcome back. You think anybody gives a single ounce of a frick about what the PC Master Race thinks? You guys are a slice of a slice of a slice. You're the smallest percentage in the gaming community. No, nobody's making anything for you other than hardware developers, like they're making graphics cards for you. Sure, they're making bleeding edge technology for you, but the developers and the console makers, they don't give a frick about you. Who are you? You're nothing.
I think bro's mad he got proven wrong. I'm sorry, Reforge, but you know, you kinda walked into that one getting flexed on for defending a really garbage purchase of a console. Honestly, I hope no one buys this console. I also hope that you don't buy that Xbox version of this as well, whatever that $600 2TB hard drive one. Don't buy that, they're both terrible purchases. Do yourself a favor and get yourself a PC. Well, this is the end of the video. If you want to like and subscribe, now's your chance. I'd greatly appreciate it as I want to reach 10,000 subs anyway. I'm gonna go play some Space Marine 2. Game's absolutely peak.